name is Andrea. I'm an Italian fashion designer. I never studied fashion in my life, but conceptual art in Italy, and it's the country where I was born. And I start work during my study. I start work as a costume designer for performing art and theater, and fashion, of course, was my passion. And when I was a student in this fine art school, the boss of very famous big denim brand asked me to work for him as a fashion designer, a graphic designer, and I said yes. And I worked for this company, and it was called Me 60 in Italy for 6 years. And then in 2013, I moved here in Berlin. My label, Fade.TAU label, was born in 2015, in the beginning of 2015. And in the beginning, so was a joke. The idea was not to create a proper label, fashion label. It was a joke, was denim, upcycling denim stuff. Then I made it for a friend of mine to use during also a performance here in Berlin, in Sophienzalle. And then people start to ask me to have the same stuff or clothes. And I upload online 5 pieces on this platform for designer, then it's called Not Just a Label. And was 5 pieces made of upcycling denim in then I worked in patchwork method. So usually, so I buy the material denim in the charity store or flea markets, and then I sanitize, iron. I stitch and I divided each jeans in different colors: black, light blue, medium blue, and dark blue. And then I work with this fabric on the pattern as a tiles of a mosaic. So it's a very long, it's meaning it take a lot of time. But this was my idea, to invest in this label more time and less money. It was just an experiment at the beginning. So I upload these 5 first pieces. There was unisex pieces on this platform, Not Just a Label. And then I was invited after 1 week. I was invited in Paris. Who's next? And I won the best designer of the years. And then it's arrived at Victoria Albert Museum from London, and they asked me to write an introduction of one of their books about patchwork and quilting, because they said and Fade.TAU label was one of the most best contemporary patchwork at the moment. And then I never stopped it. So in the beginning, my project was not to work with a lot on this label, was just an experiment. But then I start to receive a lot of orders from Japan, Paris, a lot of Europe. I also, for me, I was surprised. It was also hard because in a short time I just found this situation, and I start to organize everything. To find some laboratory to help me, because as I said, the process to make only one pair of pants can take 12 hours, so it's very long. So it's meaning then my buyers and my customer, they have to wait. I have a waiting list. So as soon I'm able, I just start to work on the new orders, because I don't have stock. So this is also part of my philosophy. I work just on order, but in this case I give the chance to my customer, just because I work exactly specific for them, also to send me the proper measures, colors, so customize the order. And also this is also weird, because when I was invited in Paris, I was the first label that worked with upcycling material. To be honest, it's completely zero waste, my brand. But all of my stuff are repeatable but unique. It's meaning that online or on my store, you can find the same jacket or pants in different colors and different sizes. They are very similar, but of course, they are not the same, because the shadows are a bit different from one jeans to another one. This is, I think, was the force and the base of my brand, because I was not. I just removed the limits of to work with with unique pieces. I love sometimes to make unique, but
Yeah.
this is more for show, for exhibition. But I enjoy the idea to offer to my buyers the opportunity to buy more than just only one piece. I think it's more comfortable for them, also for me, because you have to organize all times the photo shooting. In this case, it's more easy because I the same pictures and I can use online and for my stores.
Of course. You said like it was like a joke. You just had this joke in your brain, or somebody like tell you, you can start to do this like the fashion like more like your brand, not only the working on some company. So it was like more input from you, or more input from like friend or
For my friend of
Yeah.
customer. So it was a joke. I also was without name. So when I started to make this project, in the beginning it was two friends, then start to work together. I was more in the artistic side, I can say, the art director, and I just took care about the patterns and design, silhouettes, blah blah. And my friend Nicola was more about website, shipping, this bureaucratic and also boring stuff. We created this label, and then so this stuff was in my studio, but I created for this musician. But some prototypes was in my studio. I start to invite friends and customer to buy also different stuff from my another label when I for what I worked. And then I decided, okay, maybe we can start to open, I don't know, to work with also with this project. And then we found the name. The name is arrived after the prototypes. A fade out is meaning usually is the label that you can find inside the jeans.
Yes.
It's meaning that the color fade out with the washing. So it's a word and it's connected with time and use and blah blah. Just for that, I think this is a perfect name for me and my colleague, of course. This can be the perfect name for our label. And we start and everything was so fast. So now are quite 10 years and I work with this label, and so really it was very fast everything, and so I was also very lucky. You have to be lucky, but I think it's also important to have a great idea. Just for that, for example, another characteristic of fade out label is then I have permanent collection. Permanent collection is meaning then I don't remove nothing, nothing stuff that I made it some season before, but I add new capsule collection when I'm ready or when I have a new ideas, because I don't follow the season. And this is meaning that each year this permanent collection is growing up and growing up. So I can offer to my customer also to order stuff that maybe was made it 10 years ago. So because I think for me it's very important if the idea is it's a nice idea, it's a cool idea, I think can be also for long terms, not forever of course, but not just for one season. So it doesn't make sense for me. Also all of my stuff are completely unisex and also oversized.
Yeah.
But you like a permanent collection, you like changing, as you said, like every year.
No, it's I add some capsule collection
Add,
without
okay.
remove nothing that I made it before. So it's possible to find on my website or in my stores also stuff that maybe I made it in 2015.
So like we can see the stuff from the
Yeah,
beginning.
it's growing up. It's like, I don't know, like a
Okay.
monsters maybe, like a monster that is. It's always, it's always became more big and big.
Yeah.
So this is also the reason because I have a lot of prototypes here. So I think it's nice to offer this opportunity to my customers.
It's really a good idea. It's interesting idea that like keeping your your collection from the beginning, and you can, I don't know, the grow to grow like the collection can grow, and as well to transforming, and still like some people like from the past something they can ask.
Yeah, I sell very well some stuff, especially jacket, and I made it more 10 years ago maybe. This is the only limit is, of course, sometimes I just finish my material and I don't have enough for the production. In this case, just I remove the piece, so I change material because I don't use just denim, but also army blankets, football scarves, whatever. All the materials, and I can find enough to afford the production.
And all clothes is handmade. You don't
Yes,
have
by
any.
me.
Always.
From the silhouette
until now.
From the idea before I start. For me, it's very important. Maybe because I come from to fine art school, but it's very important to have an inspiration for my capsule collection. I choose the color palette, then the idea. Sometimes the inspiration comes from some book, then I read it, or some, I don't know, film or theater or whatever. Then I start to prepare a little book where I write everything. And I start also to prepare my mood board with pictures, inspiration, blah, blah. And then I start with the silhouette pattern. And then I start to work directly with the prototypes. And the whole process takes place here in my studio by me. So I'm only one. Sometimes I have some interns, but I love to work and to choose exactly each pieces, each shadows, each detail. For me, it's very important. And also, I love to make accessories to complete this capsule collection, hat, bags. So I think it's very nice. And also the photo shooting with my model. So I take care about everything. So I print also my label by myself with the screen printing, and also the paper label. So everything's. So I like that because I think if you buy a piece of without a label, it's more about to buy an experience and the time that I spend on. So I think the fashion world is full of clothes and quantity. So in my case, I prefer quality and to sell really an artwork. So I think this is the difference. This is the future for the slow fashion, for a small label as mine. I consider myself, for example, an artisan, not a fashion designer. I don't like this word. I don't consider myself a fashion designer or an artist, but an artisan.
And you mentioned that you find inspiration in theater, films, or something. Do you have any like 5 top list recommendations about films or books, maybe?
Like for you.
For you, yeah.
One.
Which influenced you too much?
So one collection was inspired by the futurism movement, art movement, and because I found this book was an Italian book about futurismo and fashion. And just there, I read it about, and they use neon colors and this dynamic cut. So inspired me a lot, and I made a collection about this one. I made another one about military because I watched a movie of Kubrick. The last 2 collection was inspired to these 2 Dada artists, 2 women from Berlin. One was Baronessa Elsa von Farentak, and then supposed, and she invented the Piscator of Duchamp. This is very interesting. It's possible to find a lot of material online about that. Another one, the last one, my last collection is called Berlin, Berlin. I was inspired to Anna Hock. She also was a Dada collage artist, and she worked also in the Bauhaus. I have also another capsule collection, and it's called In Bau. I was inspired to all of the artists of Bauhaus, and each piece has a name of one artist of the Bauhaus. But I made a lot of collection. If you want just a list, it's more difficult now to because I clash different things in each collection. Movie, books,
That's more interesting, I guess.
As well, you said Berlin, like you had the collection like Berlin, Berlin.
Yes.
So, for example, how's Berlin influence you?
I think Berlin for me was a clash because when I moved here, I found the fashion situation was completely different. So there was nothing. So I found just few designers. But what I saw when I write, then in Berlin there wasn't the design. So I think the clash for me was to put together the design can come from my environment in Italy, from my taste from Italy, and sustainability. Then I found here in Berlin. Then, for example, in Milan, we don't have too much. They doesn't put a lot of attention about sustainability. So this was this was important for me from this city. Then I just the city teacher me about green, sustainability, inclusive. So especially these things, because I think the taste and design come from my Italian side.
Okay.
So yes, but I think the idea to reuse material and to be also more dirty with my clothes come from absolutely of this city. It's a very raw city. It's more important here, clubbing and music and parties. So I think I just mixed these things because I was more classic in Italy.
Yeah, like underground and then like
Yeah, it's more underground
influencing,
Berlin.
yeah. But you said like in Italy is not, but why in Italy why it's different?
Yeah, because Italy has another kind of story as Paris and London. So for them, it's more big. The fashion system is more big, more professional. I think for them, as Prada said, it's more difficult. They need more time to turn more sustainable and more green. In Berlin, there was nothing. They just start from zero, and they decided what I saw from the Berlin Fashion Week team. They decided since the beginning to invest more on the sustainable designers. I was invited several times to show my collection during the Berlin Fashion Week from the official one, and was very important for them inclusivity and sustainability. And my label was perfect because it's unisex and it's completely zero waste. And also I support a lot the queer community. This is very important for me. And in a way, I think my label has a lot of labels here. It's also more about big politics. I don't like to be politics, but it's impossible because when you create something, you express yourself, your idea, your point of view on the world, and in my case, on fashion systems. I was, for example, Vogue Italy, they pushed me out from Vogue Talent 10 years ago because I wrote on my about that I don't believe about fashion system, because I don't believe about season collection. I don't believe about why to have female and male fashion week doesn't make sense. I think it's not contemporary at the moment. And I think they doesn't like it that because they pushed me out 2 times from talents, and then I stopped it to collaborate.
So
with
you
them.
will not going back.
No, but now also Fashion Revolution in Italy, I met them. They invited me several times. In the last 3 years, they just changed a lot of things. They are fight a lot to change the fashion system in Italy. In also, they start to pretend from the government to have new control on the production. Salary, about a lot of things, and this is very good now. Also in Milan, I was invited to present my collection during the Denim Premiere Vision in June, and I discovered in Milan also now some fashion stores, and they also sell sustainable upcycling designers. When I presented my first collection in Paris, for example, there was a lot of stores, especially from Italy, Austria,
France, yeah,
Austria.
Austria, yes, Austria. It's in the German.
And was some buyers, and they also refused to touch my clothes because for them was dirty, because it was used materials, and this for me was incredible. This was for 2 years. Then maybe they found the same stuff, because patchwork denim in the end was also presented by Balenciaga some years ago, and I think now the people change it. Balenciaga, we are a lot now, and they maybe, of course, they changed the idea. Maybe they prefer to pay, €1,000 from Balenciaga and not from slow fashion designer.
Yeah, never
Just
know.
Balenciaga and everyone knows
Yeah,
it.
but for me, like Balenciaga now, it's too much. Maybe at some point, but yeah, doesn't
They
matter.
can do it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I remember from one video that's in one from one interview, you said that to create your collections, like
Cake.
baking a cake.
Yeah, I always say that.
Yeah, like what do you mean then? So
Okay,
what
I'm
is-
Italian. For Italian guy, it's very important the food, maybe more than fashion and design.
Okay.
So my mantra is you are what you wear, because this is the sentence and usually you can find for the food. You are what you eat,
Yeah.
because there are much control, uh, also more investment to check the quality of the food, but was not the same in the fashion. Now it's changed a bit, and I use a lot as a provocative sentence, and I also put it everywhere on my show, on catwalk, in the t-shirts, everywhere. And then I don't know why, spontaneously during an interview, somebody asked me what is for you fashion, and I said, okay, fashion for me is like to make a cake. So
I love
have
it,
to be
actually.
beautiful, of course, as a
Yes.
clothes,
Yeah.
but have to be also tasty, but also healthy. So it doesn't make sense if you want to. I don't know. I don't think the people eat plastic, or
Yeah.
maybe they eat, but they doesn't know.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with fashion. So I can understand the people that spend money for polyester because it's plastic. It's not healthy on your skin. So this is absurd for me. Also, my label, Fade Out label, is completely upcycling, zero waste. I use material, but for example, all of my jeans are without elastan.
So you're not using
No,
the
I have
synthetic,
nothing
so-
stretching in my collection.
Okay.
Maybe sometimes when I made a collection made of bicycle uniforms and stuff, in this case was polyester, but because guys donated me, but this was just a unique collection. But online or my stuff, I don't use material with elastan inside, and no nylon, no polyester, of course. And also I stopped to use 8 years ago also upcycling later, because my label is also vegan. I start to sell in these vegan stores in Paris, and then I decided also to remove the upcycling later. Then in the past I used for the label or for some details, but I accessorize, but I stopped it. Now I use like laters, vegetables later,
Yeah.
but in some details, so I don't have in my collection.
So like most of it's always like denim, algodon.
Denim,
Algodon
wool.
is cotton. Yeah, cotton, denim.
Wool, a lot of
Yeah,
wool, because for
wool,
the
yeah.
blankets, very simple, not much material, to be honest. So this is also the reason, because all of my stuff are not stretching and oversized, because have to be oversized, so it's impossible to go inside.
Yeah.
To dress.
So
Yeah.
how to dress it? Yeah, because it's like okay for like teeny tiny girl, it's okay. But maybe when it's the boy a little bit have a more I don't know arms.
Okay, just details, and I use this elastic bands. Okay, this I have to buy new, and it has shoes elastic band, because I have to be strong enough for jeans. But I didn't find another. Sometimes I have this system with fleece, then it's different. And in this case, I can use just cotton. But of course, sometimes I also have some plastic inside. To be honest, no, to be correct.
Yeah, like to be true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Something little bit of the
Just
plastic.
elastic, the elastic, because
Just
of
this,
course
nothing.
I didn't find another option.
Yeah, but it's sometimes complicated to maybe to find the new way how to do some stuff. So like for example for the belt or
Yeah, I have different options. Sometimes it's the coulisse when you have this tube, and then you put inside the band. But okay, I offer different options to my customer. For example, this is also maybe interesting. When I start, my idea was not to be sustainable or zero waste. I discovered after, because it was 10 years ago, was very fresh.
Okay.
This idea, and I discovered after, and I was completely sustainable and zero waste, because Fashion Revolution, they invited me several times, and they said
So in the beginning, you like.
My idea was to experiment if it was possible to start with a proper label, invest just time and not money, and I said, okay, denim is possible to find everywhere in the same colors, and the word is very we have a lot. It's a material that you can find a lot, and this was the question was that to make this experiment to see if it was possible to have a label and without invest money for the materials, because also I worked on another two my personal labels, and in this case I invested a lot of money before to prepare to buy receive the fabrics later, and without was an experiment, but the idea was not to be sustainable, to be honest. To be honest,
from the beginning
was just an experiment, and then everything's so in this fashion system start to speak a lot about sustainability. And I discovered, okay, also I'm sustainable.
As well, of course.
And do you buy all materials in Berlin? Yes, you have like specific shops.
No, usually. So denim you can find everywhere. I buy in Italy. In Italy, the quality is much better because so you can find more Levi's, this more cool label. But also in Berlin, I can find a lot in these charity stores, flea markets, and usually army blankets. It depends. I went in the south of Italy. It was to the sailors because it was sometimes I also use the Navy army blankets, and I asked directly to these old sailors in the south of Italy. I went there. This case, in the last collection, I used these traditional blankets from my village where I was born in the middle of Italy, and we can say Italy, Germany, and sometimes online because I also use these Russian or Turkish army blankets, but. Yeah.
And you do it by
Italy,
yourself,
Germany.
Right? You choose everything.
Sometimes yes, sometimes was a friend of mine. He has a vintage fundus here in Berlin. He's Italian from Napoli, where we have the biggest, I think, few markets in the world, and it's a city. And he come from exactly from there, but he has a fundus here in Berlin, and sometimes he just proposed me, okay, I have 3 boxes full of football scarves, maybe you can invent something. Also in this case was he offered me these boxes full of bicycle stuff and uniforms. Sometimes I have the people then just give me the idea and materials when they have a lot. Sometimes I'm just myself, then maybe I have an idea, I try to find somewhere. For example, this Futurismo collection that was called Cretino Fosforescente. My idea was to make this workwear clothes that usually are neon orange and yellow and neon yellow with upcycling materials and denim, not with this plastic polyester. And I discovered that all of the neon fabrics usually are toxic because the pigment is toxic. And so I was in my mind for a lot of months. And then I was so lucky because in Berlin I found this shop, and they prepare by themselves the pigment and the base is water. And I bought this color, and then I bought also the organic cotton, and I printed neon yellow and neon orange fabric by myself with the screen printing. You have no idea how many hours to prepare just 1 meter, but it's another thing. So the people can touch and see. They can understand how much time do you need, and just for that, I think my items works better if you see, touch, than online. So I have my socials. I have to take care also about that, but I prefer to sell directly. For me, it's very hard to participate in the markets because it's a lot of time and work. But sometimes when I accept, or like now, I will go to in the whole festival. It's a queer festival. Sometimes to sell my stuff in this music festival around Berlin. It's very nice because I love to show, I speak, to tell to my customer the story, because each piece has a story behind.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So this is nice.
And for example, the story from, like you said, like each piece have a story behind. It's, for example, the stories from that's your inspiration from the movie or from the book, or they have another
Different.
meanings. So it's different.
Always different. Sometimes it can be also stuff that I remember that I used when I was a child, or I don't know. It's always random or different. Sometimes it's also the people maybe I met I saw on the U-Bahn, and I don't know, inspire me something.
Okay.
It's always very different.
That's nice. And you have, for example, in Berlin, do you have your favorite charity stores or the second hands where you can like to go and find something?
Not in Berlin.
No?
No, because in Italy we have more
Really?
best, of course. No, the best in the world for me, it's I have a lot of stuff and I bought there in Italy. I have a fundus in my parents' house. It's the biggest flea markets in the world, and it's called Porta Portese in Rome, where I live it. And there it's amazing because it was very easy to find stuff from Moschino or Jean Bogoche for 50 cents.
So
And
you recommend to go there?
but now everything's changed, because in 10 years also flea market is completely different. The prices are different.
Yeah, of course.
But yes, I think my first, because also I never bought for myself new stuff since when I was a child. I always went to the vintage shop, but I remember I was the people around me, also my parents, they was a bit scary, afraid about that. Now it's very difficult. It's also more so, it's very cool.
Yes.
So also here in Berlin, I'm living in Cotti and opened, I don't know, in 1 year, maybe 6 different vintage stores. So now it's a trend.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know.
Like
Nowadays,
also in Berlin, it's a trend.
it's everywhere. Berlin, yes, very, but yes, everywhere. And I think the future is just to upcycling or to I don't know. I think everybody are also able to customize or renovate the clothes and they just have in their wardrobe. I think this will be the future, because also vintage will be an overdose as everything,
Of course.
as all of the trends.
Too much clothes nowadays and too much brands.
Yeah, like really too much. So sometimes I think maybe the people could start to take their own clothes from their own wardrobe to go to the designer and say like,
Also,
can you like do it from this stuff, something new, great, crazy, and I don't know.
I have some customers and
They do. You're doing like
send to me
this.
the stuff. Yeah, they send me the jeans and or some jackets, and I all customize a new the one that they send me, or I have to recreate something similar, or I have to use the same material but with a new item. So this is not just Fade Out Label. A lot of brands here works in this way. Also, I rent my stuff, for example, also for movie production, but for some events. Also, this can be an option to rent your clothes for some
Yeah, it's
event.
very comfortable actually. For example, you need a dress for a wedding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are
Yes.
some stores in Berlin. I think this is very cool. I think it's a smart city about that, because I don't know how many now, but there are different. This can be very weird, for example, in Paris or in Italy, image, or London. Yeah, I think the people are more open about that.
Yeah.
But it's a process.
Yeah, it's like step by step.
I don't think that people want to spend, I don't know, for H&M and Zara in the future, because okay, maybe you can buy 10 items in one day, save money, I don't know. But I think in this way, the people prefer, now, they prefer to spend more money, but for a very cool and important item.
Yeah.
I have customers, for example, and they bought some stuff 10 years ago, and they are right now, okay, because maybe with the pants on the bag, it's completely destroyed, and they ask me another one. because it's been and they use for 10 years always. This is the best, I think, for a designer. I think this is the best thing. My customer always the best things because they text me a very amazing sentence, so sweet. Maybe I never saw them because sometimes it's from America or Japan. I was also very lucky. I'm very lucky with my customer.
But most of the customers, they are from like United States, like you said.
It's changed years by year.
Like, I mean, from Europe, you do have a lot, or it's
now
more from there?
I start with Japan.
Okay.
They was the first 10 just write me a very big orders in the beginning, and then I said, okay, maybe it can be a job. Then I start to sell in the stores more in Japan, Paris, north of Europe. With the COVID, a lot of things changed because a lot of stores closed. And online, for example, the COVID time, I sold more in America, in US. Now I sell from 2 years. I write also some country. Then for me was very difficult to go inside as Italy, finally in my country. And I found some stores in Rome, in Milan, and this for me is my goal, of course, to write after a lot of years in my country, and yes, more in Europe at the moment. I have also customers and they are right here in Berlin to visit the city, and they just call me or text me and they ask just to visit the studio to come and order directly here. Also now I will offer another chance because on the 8th of August I will open my store with another for designers, Elise, Tata Christian and Therapy Recycling. Then we are partner in crimes. After also the last fashion week, then we just showed our capsule collection together.
So now, like, we can buy your clothes.
They can come there, and there it's so cool because so the idea is to also sell my unique stuff because okay, I love the idea to have permanent collection. It works on order, but of course I have more idea than time. Sometimes I also to express myself with crazy stuff and to make, I don't know, the idea that I have in my mind, whatever, if I sell or not. But I have this kind of crazy stuff that I want to put also inside my store. It's more easy because it's directly. So I don't need to take pictures with the model, to put all of the info online. This is a lot of work. I don't have time. Also, I don't like it, to be honest.
Oh, really?
No, I love everything. I love the production, production,
Working with like a
make silhouettes idea, but also send an email for me. It's a drama or arrange the shipping. Of course, I have to do it, but so for me it's a pain. I don't like it.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, like some, of course, like for you, like for the artist, for like to do your art, it's to work with like a hand and create.
Exactly. And to stay here, to work in my studio is the best for me. Relaxed me a lot. I have my mannequins. I can put my podcast. Sometimes I also was very lucky with my interns. I have friends who share that idea with me. So I love to work here. And when I have to take care about emails, blah, blah, shipping, it's in my apartment. And so for me, it's very, I have to prepare myself before. But of course, so it's part of this job. And we have to do it. As socials, for me, it's also not I don't like it because I don't like to spend my time on my handy. But this is half part of my job because I also Instagram, TikTok works a lot because the customer come from these socials, and you have to stay there.
Yes, of course. It's like even if you don't like it, but still we must do work with that.
Yeah, it's follow
we
the
are
rules.
part of a system in a way. It's impossible to. Okay, maybe it's possible to be completely outsider, but it's more hard also because in the end of the month also I have to pay my rent. And in Berlin this is a drama because it's not just the apartment but also the studios are always more expensive year by year. So of course we have also to be contemporary, so we have to take
Yeah.
care about also this.
Yeah, we need to work with the system as well. So it's like we cannot walk away from that. So yeah, we need to find a way how to communicate. And yeah, sometimes like deep breathe out and mails.
But usually my routine is I wake up very early and I arrive here, and the first thing I love to start with sewing machine and to work with my clothes. Then I usually stay in my studio until 7, 8 in the p.m. and then I go at home. In the evening, I start to answer some emails, editing pictures, create the poster for Instagram, TikTok, and also, of course, before that, after my atelier, when I write at home, the first thing is 1 hour I have to prepare food. Also, if I don't eat, for example, I have to spend 1 hour to prepare food because it relax me a lot. It's also a sort of design. For me, it's the same things because you have to put together some ingredients. It's like alchemy. It's the same as fade out the label because I put together different material with different story, different taste for to have one clothes. The food is the same. I put together different vegetables because I'm vegan and to create something. No, for me, it's similar and relax me a lot. And then I start with computers until 2 o'clock in the night.
Yeah. So like for example, I never cannot start without one glass of the coffee. So when I'm starting with a cup of the coffee, and they're like, okay, now we can
Me
begin.
too.
Yeah,
For me,
so
coffee is important. If I don't have, I need
you're
to go
Italian.
out to find somewhere because it's not possible for my eyes to open.
Yes, that's true.
No, I need. This is yes, espresso is the first thing. I don't have breakfast, for example.
Ah, okay.
No, it's not normal for me. But I stop it now, for example, to have the second dinner because usually for me it was difficult to have also second dinner at midnight. But now, okay, I think it's time to change my routine because it's not very healthy.
Yeah, to eat before like 9 o'clock of the night, and maybe that's not super idea. But sometimes it's like depends what time you're waking up. I mean, so like waking up. Sorry, like a waking
No,
up.
usually very early. The berry. I don't know for Berlin time because in Berlin before 10:10 everything is closed.
Yeah.
Usually I wake up at 7.
Yeah, it's early.
Sometimes 6. It depends.
It's still really early.
No, in the summer it's easy in Berlin. In the
Yeah,
winter, not before 10:08 because it's too dark. This is the only thing that for me was hard in Berlin when I moved here. And I moved in Berlin because my boyfriend is German.
Okay.
My idea was not to okay, for me Berlin was cool for clubs and music, but not for fashion. For me, I was a bit anti.
Yeah.
But my boyfriend never stopped to say, okay, you have to move here, blah blah. And I write for him, and I write the 1st of November. And for me, it was a drama because it was not so cold because
still cold
I come
and
from to the
dark,
mountains, so this was not the problem. The problem was then was too dark.
Yes, and like a dark here from the after 3 o'clock, it's like already dark.
Yes,
And sometimes
nice.
when it's a day with a rain, it's started to be dark much more earlier, like at 2, and you're like,
Yeah, from November to March. So it's, this was very hard for me for the first 3 years. Now I also appreciate, so in a way, it's not a shock. So, but was very hard. This I think was the only thing that for me was, oof.
Yeah, I totally understand because I'm as well. I moved from November, so since like from this last November. So I started from the darkness, and now we're going to the light.
Well, maybe it can be also. So it depends in which mood you are. Can be very intensive or not. I know also people can move here because they love it.
Yeah, that's all.
Not my case, but now for me it's okay also that. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but we can travel during that period.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, as also for me it's also okay because usually I sell more and I have more work from March to September, October because it's the denim time, and then Christmas because this is another thing. Then for me was different from my country. And in Berlin in Christmas you have a lot of few market Christmas markets, and the people go there and spend. This is not typical in Italy, for example. And no, we have, but the people in the we don't have too much Christmas markets, and the Christmas market and you have are very ugly. And usually you buy just stupid things. Yeah, or people spend also goods. Also, they buy also clothes or jackets that maybe can be expensive for a market. This is very cool. And for Christmas, I always participate in some Christmas market with a specific unique cups collection.
Yeah.
And I prepare some stuff that can be a present and also clothes.
Yeah.
This is very cool because for the German people it's normal, or North European people it's normal to buy also in the markets. They also spend money.
Is there a story you wish to tell through your work but haven't yet?
Maybe like experience that you had from here to Berlin, or like here.
But for example, this is not very nice to say, but I had a lot of different bad experience. Not me, I know a lot of designers with the stores here in Berlin. The people, anybody speak about that, it's a sort of taboo, but there are a lot of stores. For example, just for that is the idea with me, from me and my colleagues was to open our proper store. And because we can sell directly our stuff, we can save our money. For me, just in Berlin, to be honest, I had a lot of problem with the stores and concept stores and sell different labels, because was okay, it's inconvenient. Plus, sometimes it's usually the 50-60% for them, and the rest for you. And sometimes they pretend also the rent of the rack. That can be also 300-400 euros each month. Plus, they make discount without ask to the designer, to the customer, and this is not possible because our items are as the perfect price. Then we calculate to survive, to pay all of the things.
That's so much work that you're doing for
Also,
each piece.
if it's 12 hours, how much? So I need 12 hours to make my jacket, to make a jacket or pants image. How much money do we want to save for each hour? So of course it's not possible to calculate 20 euros, but it's less. Sometimes it's also 2 euros each hour for us. And then, so the owner of these stores, they just make discount, they pretend more percent on the final price, and then they doesn't pay you. This is horrible. And this happening, to be honest, in 10 years, it's happening at different time. No, I worked with different label of mine. Before then, that label, I also worked with another two, my personal labels. One was the viscose t-shirt graphic. Another one was later accessorized. And also with this later accessorized was called the CH2. Also with this label, I won the best designer of the years. I won 2 times with 2 different labels in Paris. This so very weird. Maybe I can say that after.
Yeah.
And this was horrible, and I decided 2 years ago. I decided to stop to collaborate with the shops. I found just 2. Them was very honest, very nice. Also because they are designer too. There was designer too. Now they decided to close the stores. But just with the designers, there was also fashion designer plus stores. No, never I had problem with this proper concept stores was for me. But I know also experience of different designers around Berlin was the same. It was a drama to just receiving back your money in the end of the month was always problem. This I found just here, just in Berlin. Never in 10 years, never in another country. And I think this is of course it's also taboo because it's a risk to say. But so I think it's important, and also because with the Berlin Fashion Week, they also support stores here. So I think they have to investigate more. They can ask more designers.
And yes, so I think they need to support more designers at the stores. So in this case,
Maybe just to have a check and they have to control more because
Yeah.
it's not possible. I think, in my opinion, I think it's not possible to ask the rent plus the percent or one or
oh
another
yes, of
one.
course.
Usually with the stores in the outside Berlin, I always worked on order. They have to buy directly. If you, they send me the list and the orders,
Sale.
and I make my stuff, and they have to buy it. They have to pay me before, then I send the shipping. It was always like that. I never had problem for Berlin because for me it was more easy to manage the stuff. I tried several times because they invited me to sell my stuff in different stores, but it was always a drama, a lot of energy, bad energy, just to have to receive back my money. And I decided to stop to collaborate with the Berliner store. Now, let's see in the future, I hope that will change the situation. But now I have mine.
Yeah.
And the second thing that anybody knows is exactly this one because during my work in Italy, I start for this big company. I start to create my first label with a friend of mine. It was a accessorized label called CHU. It was laser cut letters, accessorized scarves, gloves. And with this label, we won the best accessories designer of the year 2012 in was next Paris. And after 2 years, I won for the second time the best designer of the year 2015 with Felot label with clothes.
Yes.
This, I think, I don't know if exists another label that won 2 times with two different
But with the same person.
the same person, but completely two different
Labels, like
label
the
and stuff.
idea,
Because one was also later accessorized, another one was the opposite, sustainable, zero waste, reuse material. This was so funny. No, it was,
That's
my
interesting.
fashion life was very intensive and very. So I was very lucky, to be honest, because you have to be lucky. You have to stay in with the best product in the best time and best location. And also you have to meet exactly the right people. Yes, I was also very very lucky because in this fashion company in Italy they teach me a lot because I never studied fashion. So also I just look at the people to work during the work, and I was able to use Photoshop, for example, to make patterns because for me completely different.
Yeah.
And they also this kind of guy, these people teach me to also about materials, how to work because denim, for example, it's a completely another media. It's not a fabric. It's not like silk or cotton or what. It's cotton in the base, but
Yeah, in the base.
it's strong as a leather sometimes. So it's a very good material. I was able to arrive at this point just because behind me there are a lot of professional guide and just teaching me.
Oh, it's great experience that you had.
Yeah, so I feel very lucky about
it's nice.
my life because I met a very nice people.
Yeah.
It's important to be lucky sometimes. It's sometimes, of course.
Yeah, always. It's important.
Yes, because
bit.
it's also a part
Yeah.
of a success or whatever.
Yeah. Talent and lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The best mix.
In your designs, you convey emotions. Can the differences in this emotion be identified through the colors of the textile or the complexity of the designs?
Oh dear, I don't know if I really understood what
So
you
like
want to know.
I think it's more you're using the like most all still you're using the denim like it's a blue color, but still you're using different colors.
Ah,
in
yes.
each-
Yeah.
yeah.
This is a good question.
Yeah, and if in these colors you treat your emotions, like that's why, for example, in this moment you prefer like more dark.
Yeah,
This
because
one
you're
prefer
sad
more
or
red.
not.
Yeah, it's
So
very
like
important
you're
for me.
sending your emotions as well.
For example, in my collection, I always have, usually I always have one total outfit in pink. Okay, there is a reason behind that. I was invited to Denim Premier Vision as a talent, and they invited me to show my collection here in Berlin during this denim fair. And I decided to present my stuff in pink, in jeans pink. The idea was to protest with this kind of material that usually is associated with the macho, patriarchal. This was it was a sort of provocative thing, and I decided to show everything's in pink for that. And I brought everything, and also, for example, jeans. It's in Berlin was in Germany during the East period was forbidden because it was an American material, so it was illegal to use denim. Was also so rare to find some Levi's or something like that, and I used this material also as a sort of protest during my exhibition. The last collection, for example, was Berlin was with the German flag. This was a drama just before the people saw the collection, because German guys apparently they doesn't like to speak about these kind of things, because a lot of questions are still a taboo, or I see that, because for me it's my point of view as a foreigner and moved here was I don't know, in my case was just to say it, and I'm very glad to this country, and they just hosted me, and they offer me a lot of opportunity, but I had, for example, an interview just before my show, and the moderator also without see my new collection, I just said me before, and she was a bit disappointed, and I used these colors. For me, are not just colors, but there was nothing behind, so just an inspiration. And of course, I use a lot of red and black, because for me, Berlin is black. It's a black color. Denim, it's always blue. And for the first time, I decided I have a collection that was more black than I used just to outfit in blue. But my colors, usually it's always pink. I have always some piece in pink.
And neon colors, which you
Neon
use.
was just a collection.
Yeah,
Was a
but-
capsule collection. It's still online, but I use only one in one collection. But pink I have always. Yeah,
Is
in
it your
each collection.
favorite color?
No, my favorite color is blue. Klein blue, blue Klein.
Okay.
So
Electric
like,
blue.
the denim, the color.
It's more electric. It's more. It's ultraviolet, a bit. It's blue Klein, blue ultramarino.
It's like that one?
Yes, it's like this skirt.
Okay. It's like a little bit. Yeah, it's more electric. It's like correctly you said.
No, blue, but it's okay. Also jeans, so blue is my favorite colors. All of blue palette. My first collection was colored blue, and each pieces, the name of each pieces was a sort of blue. I still have channel trousers, EKB top, or each item I use this kind of blue color name. No, pink is not my favorite color, but I always add, because for me, as I said, it's anti-patriarchal, and also it's also queer color. And usually I always have also green. Some piece, two pieces green. Usually this is my palette of color: blue, black, red, pink, and green. And some spot of colors, but
Like
white.
you, for example, you have today green and blue.
This was a special collection that was made with military stuff. This was a stylist and proposed me to have a collaboration together. He provided me the material because it's very hard to find army fabric that's are specific vintage bags, vintage tents, but usually it's not possible to remove this horrible smell. And this guy provided me best quality vintage army stuff. And we made this capsule collection and was called mimetic. It was only 4 pieces, very large unisex, with a mix of military stuff and denim. It's very old. I made it. This one was 2016 maybe. And yesterday, for example, I just sent one in Italy because a customer he found online. I ordered me one overalls, exactly like this one, but more big. and so it's still online. So after a lot of years, and apparently the people still love it. So this is nice.
Yeah. So like yeah, like you said, like so you're like each piece it's unique. So it's like it's like unisex. It's unique. But as well, like I understand that the customer, like I can call you or to write to your email, like say like, for example, this jeans or this jacket, I want it like that, but more in a pink color or yellow color or
they send me the measures sometimes.
So they can modify the color and maybe some like parts of the
because this is an atelier, it's not a factory. So I don't have stock. So if I have to make one stuff specific for you, for me it's the same. If you want to change something, I think it's also more cool. It's also cool for me because it's something different.
Yeah, as well you can like say, oh my God,
it's always a panic attack sometimes because people ask you a very crazy idea, whatever. And sometimes I don't know, especially in the beginning, I don't know if I will be able or not. I'm always, I don't know, afraid because you have no possibility to try because maybe they live in San Francisco or I don't know in Tokyo, but until now was always I was lucky also about that because I don't know, I'm not proper pattern designer, so I'm always afraid until the shipping doesn't arrive to the customer. When I receive the email, okay, this and everything is okay, I feel more relaxed. Because to work in this way, for me it's cool, it's nice, it's also nice for the customer, but it's always I don't know, weird. So I'm afraid,
of course, you're a little bit
because
nervous,
it's a lot of work. And maybe if it doesn't fit, but it's never happening. But you have also to refund the money. Also, you invested for the shipping. Shipping is a lot. PayPal and the bank, they also keep the fee. So you have to consider all of these things.
Yeah. And after that, to pay all the like insurance, taxes.
90% is the tax, and then the rest is yours. But it's yours is meaning you have to pay sewing machine materials. I don't spend too much money for materials. This is true, but the rent of your atelier, the rent of your apartment, electricity, it's money.
Yeah, the people need to live. So
if you want to work in this way, we are a lot here in Berlin. As I said, you can. The only thing you have, so you need a passion. So it's impossible because it's more easy to work as a fashion designer for a big company because you save more money, a lot, and at 6 o'clock you are at home. You are free in the weekend. When it's your label, this is not just in fashion, I think in general. So if you have your personal business, you never stop to work. This is horrible to say, but your brain is always there.
Yeah, that's true. Like, when you're like a self-employed or like your own, I don't know, brand or something. So of course, it's like always working 100%, 24 hours, like a non-stopping.
Yeah, because in the night also, if you, so I don't know, you receive now with the socials, it's more horrible because you receive messages from everything, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Emails are always online.
Yeah, that's true. Part of
it can be toxic sometimes, but it's so this is also part of the job. But the people doesn't consider that because often my friends, they said, okay, it's your personal business. You are lucky because you can do it whatever you want. Yes, it's true. Sometimes if I don't want to arrive here Monday morning at 10. I can also arrive midday, but this is meaning then I work at Sunday for sure, because it doesn't exist for me to stay at home one day random like that.
So like you work on Sundays?
If I have nothing to do, to be honest, I love to work on Sunday because there is special for emails, because the people are on holidays and they have no time to react soon. So you have your time to write very calm your email, and then Tani will read the day after. So.
They will read.
Sometimes if I have nothing to do, I love to work in Sunday. Also, a lot of few markets are in Sunday. So.
And you go into the markets on Sundays?
Yeah, because the few markets is Sunday.
They opened. Yeah.
Yeah, they just opened in Sundays.
Okay.
Here in Berlin,
Okay,
but also in
okay.
Italy. It's meaning that you have to wake up early and go on the market to find, if you need sometimes I don't have black jeans, for example. I have to go there because it's the faster way to buy stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Because I forgot that the markets are
No, it's
actually
always Sunday.
Sunday.
It's
Yeah.
also amazing because it inspired me a lot, because sometimes you go there and you imagine to buy jeans and then you can find, I don't know, completely another different things, and maybe you can create a new collection with this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
And don't you want to delegate some parts, for example, emails or social media, because you?
I'm no, I don't know. I'm not organized very well about that. When I feel, sometimes I prefer to take just one day, but it's very oof. And sometimes I divide in the, I don't know, in the evening, maybe in the night, never in the morning. I try not in the morning because my energy in the morning, I'm Aries.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of power in the morning. I have to make something with my hands since the beginning. In the evening, I'm more calm, also more positive, more relaxed. So I prefer in the evening, but it's always different.
No, but I meant delegate to someone else to do social media for you, or to do all this managementship and this stuff which you don't like.
Yeah, I tried in the past, but it's also hard because you have to trust
You should
this
find the right person.
And also I'm a person, so for me it's hard. I know. Or for example, when I have my photo shooting, I also ask to the photographer if they give me the permission to make to edit the pictures, because also so I have to take care. I have to I love to have the control of everything because I want exactly with
what
my taste, exactly what is in my mind. I think it's I don't know, it's hard. Social media maybe yes, but emails it's more complicated because you have, of course, you have to stay close to the guy because you have to ask you everything, and then so it's the same because in the past was like that.
Okay.
Shipping is different, but it's not possible to find a guy that wants just to take care about that because it's so boring.
Yeah.
I prepare everything in the night and the morning and just deliver.
Yeah, it's good to know it because it's actually sometimes it's really complicated to find the person, the right person. That's
You have to trust, to be a friend.
To know your taste, to know how you work, to know
same vision,
energy. So like it's really complicated. So
yeah, you can also teach to the guy, but to be a very, I don't know, close person on you because you have to trust exactly because it's so.
But you like spent maybe 1 month with this person, like teaching every day how it should be like that, and after like 1 month, you just relaxing, and this person like going well.
Yeah, it was like that with my intern, but sometimes sorry, the images can be different. The records, blah blah. You have to stay there. This is possible with social media and with shipping or something like that. But sometimes the emails are also private, not private, but delegate or sensible information. I don't know. You have to know exactly. In the past, was like that because I was a friend of mine and took care about this. But okay, I was all times there.
Yeah.
Because so to organize the work and the job.
Like you working with collaborating with the different designers, but maybe do you have some like designer which you really want to work with or collaborate with?
Oh, a lot. But for example, I love to collaborate more with artists than designers, or designers that are very different than me, because okay, I collaborate with other fashion designers, but I think it's more interesting when it's, for example, I made this collection that was called Akira. The collaboration was with me and Paola Cubes. She's a friend of mine and she has a furniture label. And she worked with upcycling furniture. And we mixed denim, patchwork denim from me, and we used my pattern, and we clashed with Alcantara, and is the material and she used for the furniture. And we made this collection was capsule collection was amazing. Also colors, these bright colors, and the geometric cut has the Paola's taste. Was very. We sold everything in, I don't know, 1 week. Was unique. It was very interesting. Then I made it with jewelry designers. With another label, she make pillows, but the shape usually has it's a sort of meat or sausage. In our case, we made this heart in denim, and she provided me pattern, and I made this big heart 3D in denim, and it was so cool. Also, we sold very fast. And yes, collaboration I think it's very interesting because so you can have two different point of view in only one piece. For me, it's always nice. One which I want to collaborate.
Yeah. Or maybe some like a one famous one.
Yeah.
A famous one, Donatella Versace, of course.
Oh,
But with Donatella, not with Versace, with the design. That would be a dream. No, I'm so for me also. If it's not famous, so in general, I love to I would love to collaborate. So I have a lot, maybe.
An artist.
Artist is a very interesting, of course. So it's an image as Riccardo Tisch with Marina Abramovic. So it's, for example, I don't like this kind of VIP as Kardashian or Lady Gaga less because they are the proper taste. It's,
Yes,
I
of
think
course.
it's hard. In this case, it's better if they want some pieces ready. But with artists, with creative guys, it's more can be very interesting. Maybe with a chef. I never tried with a chef. This can be a new collection.
why not?
Yeah, but I had a different collaboration in the past. Maybe also in the future, of course, because so it's always nice.
Yes, of course. So this is the important that in the future will be more and more interesting, so that you can grow as well, so and find new inspirations for new collections.
I will have now a new one in November also, because for Denim Premier Vision, they always invite me to show my collection there. I collaborate with them a lot. Also, they in November will be in Milan. They will use my picture to promote the event, and they always offer me to have a collaboration with some suppliers. I usually ask the suppliers to give me to just send me in Berlin the trash. I don't want to new fabrics because they are fabric denim suppliers. Or I don't know, maybe they make metal accessories as press button, zip, this kind of stuff, or Jacron, the label.
Yeah.
This kind of suppliers you can find any Premier Vision, and when they ask me to collaborate with them, I always prefer to receive just the trash that they found in their warehouse because all of the company are full of this material, and they send me always this surprise packet. When I open, I can find whatever. In this case, I love to create this capsule collection, very, I don't know, crazy with this luxury material sometimes. And in this way, I made it 4 or 5 different capsule collections. Sometimes I receive the jacquard, denim jacquard, best quality, jeans, this I don't know, colorful denim, different things, and I put all of together to create a new collection.
You use the silk?
Never used for Fede Auto Lab. I used in the past for my because one of my label was made of viscose. The viscose is the vegetarian side of vegetarian option than silk, but it's very similar. But silk, it's so boring.
Really?
It's boring to sew because it's very delicate. You have to take care. Denim is fantastic because you can sew very fast. It's a very strong material.
Yeah.
It's also a bit elastic because it's in diagonal. but silk you have to be very precise. When I
Okay.
made my collection made of viscose and similar, it's very hard because so maybe you put on the table in a wrong way and you just can destroy one thread and you can put in the rubbish because you see it's too delicate.
Yeah.
It's not my kind of material. I don't like, for example, to use it. I have some stuff in silk, but for me it's too. I don't like on my skin, to be honest. I prefer
I'm just
cotton,
interested. I
linen.
was just, like, curious about if because I know that the silk is really delicate, so
I used in the past for
Yeah.
different label from 2 labels of mine, but not too much hours, too much work, and then it's also too delicate. It's not my
yeah,
my,
not your
my
favorite.
materials.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's not also for this city. I think it's my idea when
Paris maybe,
yeah,
Or
of course.
Italy.
or Italy as well. Yeah.
So either, but in my case, when I start with the Ferrotto label, the idea was to have some outfit, some clothes, and was possible to wear since the from the morning to the night. Maybe to use for the school, your job, and then aperitif, and go directly with the same outfit to the Berghain Kit Kat. This was the idea.
I knew it.
Feel yourself cool. I
Yeah,
don't know. This is for me. It's important to be urban wear.
yeah.
This way, no, silk is completely.
No, it's
This
not
delicate material is
No,
completely
like forget
different.
about the silk. Yeah.
I never use for Ferrotto label. I think also for just swatch or small part, and I think I never use it because it's not in
Yes.
my mind usually.
Yeah.
I prefer more sporty and urban wear.
And what do you believe is the power of art?
The power of art. Oh, you
Yeah.
have to ask an artist, not.
Yeah, but you do your clothes as art.
No, I think are two different things. Art, for me, art is it's a sort of communication, universal communication. And of course, it's very impossible to understand at the moment. For the contemporary guy, it's impossible. Still now we are understand something about Leonardo da Vinci or Yves Klein or Marcel Duchamp. I think art is as philosophy and science, a religion. So, vabbè, religion is philosophy. It's something that it's a universal. Fashion, clothes it's a part of decorative things. It's an artisan for me because come from maybe after now, for example, when we had the punk movement with Vivian Westwood, whatever. This was possible to imagine it, something like that in the fashion because it was before in the Dadaism, so in the Dada movement. So fashion is arrived always some years or later after the art movement. So I think when I receive my students here, the first thing that I say them, then it's very important to know the history of art because if you want to work in fashion, if you want to work as a creative designers, you have to know the history of art, or it's impossible more than the history of fashion. Also, it's important, but it's like to if you want to be a politic, you have to know the story.
Yeah.
The history is
Yeah.
So as well, like for you, it's like to know first the story, the history about the art, about the fashion, before to start.
Yes, if you want to be a creative, maybe there are people that want to work in the fashion system, but not they are creative guys. There are, of course, exist genius. Then I don't know, they are something to say inside, like a bomb. But I think can help you to know the history of art. It's for me, it's very important. And in the future, my dream is to start to teach history of art and fashion together. This is my dream now because, to be honest, my goal when I was a teenager was just where I am now, to be a designer.
And you like to teach and tell stories to people, right?
I love to say I collaborate also with the school. They invite me to teach them, or sometimes they come here, and I always start from the history of art usually, and then I introduce my collection, my things. But I think it's very important. So
Yeah.
if you work in general in the design, you have to know something about art.
Of
course, like 100%.
It's very difficult to know the contemporary art
Yes.
because so this is, or you are a genius, so it's very hard to understand because it's something that will arrive in the future. But it's nice. This is also horrible because now sometimes as now I'm working a lot, it's not possible for me to go often to the galleries or to the museum. But in the past, so I still have a lot of, I don't know, info and things inside my mind because I study a lot the history of art in the past.
Yeah, that's
Art in general.
No, it's amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
You're
so
welcome.
for
much.
your answers, for your
Yes.
energy, for your artists. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.